Okay, let's face it, today we have to talk about clean tones. From my experience as a live guitar player, I can tell you that the most important things, even the reason why I started playing guitar, is to get in contact with girls. And if I say contact, I mean close contact. So, for that reason, you may have to play at least one ballad in your live set. Because that is usually the point where you can get the girls. And besides the most important part of the ballad to be the guitar solo, of course, you may have to use some decent clean tones. And I was always struggling with the clean tones because in reality I don't give a shit about clean tones, but they're quite different than high gain tones and distorted tones. They don't have that compression and you get into problems usually with the low end or with some clipping or might be some snapping sounds, and yeah, for the top end that is cutting through. So I think I got the best results without using an amp for cleans. And today I will show you that. Prepared it here in the AxeFx. And as you can see, this is my patch. And I'm on the scene 6. As you can see, all the amp, drive and cab blocks are disabled. So I'm using basically the dry signal of the guitar and only use some compression, Multiband compression and some equalizing. And this is my tone. And as you can hear, it's clean as hell. Of course, I'm after crystal clear clean tones now, not after some distorted or light distorted clean tones. Of course, there are applications where you need your Fender amp with a little bit of edge of breakup or maybe some distortion from the power amp, but my goal was here to get the cleanest clean sound I can get, and also it's also something which I use for clean solos, but also for ballady stuff. I call it it's my Nothing Else Matters clean. I can play it. You may know what I mean. And I found out this works great in a live mix. And also if you want to play some clean solos, it's almost like a steel string acoustic guitar. The sound. You can play Simon and Garfunkel. But also you can play, well, some metal cleans where you need cleans. Okay, I think you can imagine what I mean, and let's take a look at the preset. As I mentioned before, I don't use an amp. So it starts with a compressor. That is basically used because, well, as I said before, the high gain tones, they have a lot of compression coming from the distortion stage of the amp. You don't have that in a clean situation, and that means that if you everything when you're playing is transported as you play. If you hit the note hard, then usually it will result in a louder sound than when you hit the note softer. For example, if I turn the compression off, as you can hear, very quiet and very loud. And those dynamics, they are important in a clean tone because you cannot deal with those dynamics in a live situation. Front of house guy has to deal with that, and then it will result in that he will turn the volume of your tone down, and it's not what you want. So either you play very accurate, but I found out with clean tones the compressor is in the live situation always helping. So it's not so important how hard you struck the note, or if you hit the note a little bit lighter, then the volume level is always the same. And as I said in another video where I explained the dynamic equalization and compression, you have to adjust the threshold. And here I set it to, to the maximum level. In this case, the minimum level, because I want to work it always. Also, I set the attack time and the release time really high. That means basically that the compressor is, it's working as fast as it gets. And after that, I'm using a parametric EQ, basically to shape the tone of the guitar. By the way, I'm using the Harley-Benton HSH model, the Fusion line, and I'm on the neck pickup, and I'm in the split mode. This Harley-Benton guitar is a 5-way toggle and it's very flexible, especially with clean tones. But I found out that this position in the split mode is my favorite one, especially for solo stuff, clean solo stuff. So as you can see here, I'm using the parametric EQ and I'm cutting big amount of the low end at a blocking filter at 129 Hertz. And also I'm cutting the top end above 9357.4 Hertz. The number is important. And what I'm doing usually to get this acoustic steel string solo sound, I'm imitating the sound of a acoustic steel string by raising the presence frequencies, which is here in 4K, 4.6K, and I raised it quite a lot, about 5 dB. Also, I don't use narrow bandwidth because I want to raise all the top end. And I found out that this is important if you want to sound like a steel string acoustic, especially those frequencies between 4 and 5K. And also I reduced something in the lower mid-range, because that is something you don't find that dominant in a steel string acoustic. So I reduced it and I raised the overall level a little bit, because the signal coming from the guitar is a little bit weak. As I said, then no drive, no amp, no cab. I use the pitch block with a little bit of dynamic detuning. This is detuning, as you can see, a little bit down and up, about 5-6 cents. And the level and also the detuning is a little bit moving, which can be done with modifiers. You're selecting an L of O and say it should move from -7 onto -5 cents, for example, and then it's dynamically changing and then creates a shimmery effect. I'm also using this on my lead tone. Then we have another parametric EQ, which is basically something I'm using on all my scenes, and this preset, it's basically the low cut filter, now setting at 76 Hertz. And this is usually the parametric EQ I'm adjusting to the live situation. For example, if I have a front of house with an environment where the low end causes problems, then I will raise it maybe a little bit if the front of house engineer doesn't raise it. So this is my live parametric EQ that I use to adjust the whole preset to the environment. And then I'm using delay and reverb. I'll come to that in a second, but first I would like to show you the multiband compression I'm using. This is also important. I'm using the multiband compressor basically if some frequencies here in the band between 90 and 350 Hertz, so in the low mid-range, are too loud, then it will reduce them a little bit, but dynamically. As you can see, if I'm playing high notes, this mid-band doesn't do anything. And in the highs, so above 350 Hertz, I'm also using a little bit of a compression, that it doesn't get too harsh. Because I found that these picking sounds, they can be annoying for the audience, especially if they come with the horns of the front of house. You hear the pick attack, and that is usually something that hits people in the ear. And unless that is not your goal, you should reduce it a little bit. And I'm addressing that problem with the high band in the multi-band compression. As I said before, I'm using delays and reverb, and you may wonder why they're here in the same position. Well, the reason is they're in the same column because I don't want the reverb to affect the delay. And these are two delays I'm using. One is a, as you can see, the tap delay, that 1/4, and another is, as you can see here, it's an 8 delay. And what I usually do is I'm switching between these delays with a expression pedal. In some songs I may need a longer delay, then I use the down position of the expression pedal, addressing this and this tempo, and in another position I've used this. So it's basically, I'm basically using only one of them, and you know, addressing this with the expression pedal. And of course the delays are mostly used when I'm playing solo stuff, but I also use it for some rhythmical things, like maybe you know from U2 or something. He's using it quite a lot. It's a .8 delay. I don't have it in this preset, but these are my two main applications for the delay. And also we have the Plex delay, which is something in AxeFx that creates a nice ambient sound, like shimmering. You can hear if I'm playing. So these are my basic clean tones that I'm using live. And well, of course I have a couple of other clean tones where I'm using amps, but they're basically not crystal clean tones. They're more or less like clean tones with a little bit of edge of breakup or power amp distortion. And but this is the preset where I get the best results with crystal clear clean tones without any distortion. And I recommend you should play around with that. It's a very powerful thing that you can do in a modeler, that you can just use the dry signal of the guitar. Also, I'm using like that patches when I'm playing with a guitar that has a piezo system, like the Music Man Giorgio guitar. That brings you closer to the sound of an acoustic guitar. But also with this setting on the neck pickup with a splitted humbucker sound, I'm quite comfortable and quite happy with the clean tones. And the reason why I choose this way is basically because, if I remember correctly, I heard in an interview with Marty Friedman, where he was asked about his clean tones on his solo albums, and he said basically he is going directly into the board with his Fernandez Strat. I don't know if I remember correctly, but after I heard it, and that was my favorite clean tone, then I had to try it out, and well, I'm quite satisfied with the results. Suggest to you to try it out in a live situation. It works great, and well, as always, please give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and I hope you have great success with the girls with this clean tone.